Hi everyone, this is a new series I'm going to try out for a little while called My Favorite Maps. Each week I'll look at all of the maps made in Metro Mapmaker over the previous week and show you my favorites. I'll also include links to every map in the video notes so you can remix your favorites. Let's start with the week of November 11th, 2024. I want to say up front that there were over 1,000 maps made this week. And let's take a look at my favorites. In no particular order, this is a really extensive map of Sydney with over 500 stations and 28 different lines. The dark gray lines at the left end of the map could look really nice as another color, though it looks a little bit like an intentional choice to create a branch line. But what's really impressive to me is how many stations are included and how clean and straightforward the lines are. I can't read Korean, so I'll need help identifying which city this is, but this map is really pleasing to look at. There's actually a lot of unused space here as well, but it doesn't look unfinished. This map of Jersey City doesn't have a great many stations, but I think it's really well designed. I like the legend and the mix of station markers, especially these square station markers here. And the strip maps at the bottom are a really, really nice touch. This map of Perth is really tall, so there's a lot of room for expansion. And I quite like the way the thin lines and the medium circle station markers combine, especially here in the central core. Plus, there's a really cool legend at the bottom, and I think the emoji use here is pretty cool too. The names here read to me like they're somewhere in Japan, and down here it says Tokyo as well. But what I love about this map is how beautifully simple it is. It uses the smallest map size, but still feels remarkably spacious and also very legible. I also love the use of the different line styles depicted in the legend to show the different lines. So we have an express line plus two different types of dashed lines, and I think this works really, really well. Here's a really delightful map for Washington, D.C. One day I'd love to do a whole series on my favorite maps of DC, and since it's my city, I can speak a lot more to the specifics than just to the design aspects. This here adds several new lines that you can see over here. One thing I found a little confusing is that the purple line here doesn't map to the existing plans for Maryland's purple line that is real. It feels like there's a missed opportunity to not connect Bethesda with Silver Spring. But I do really like that there's a gold line that connects College Park all the way down to Fairfax down here. I really like that the pink line here gives another way to get to Tacoma Park, and it cuts down north through south all down through the city and especially east of the river. There's also a total reimagining of the silver and the blue lines, and being able to take the train to the Arboretum would be super cool. Creating a map for Seoul, South Korea is an ambitious undertaking, but this mapmaker was up to the task. What's even more impressive is that there is still plenty of room to grow. This map is only 160 by 160, but manages to show 27 different rail lines and 700 stations, and all of it is still legible. I think using a thin line width here was a really smart choice for legibility. And I think it also suits the design quite well also. And you can play with the different line widths here if you wanted to change that as well. Notice that when you switch to a thin line width, when you have the rectangular stations, you get the colorful stations, and it goes to black and white station markers when your line width is 50% or higher. I think also the small circles or the medium circles would work really well here also. This map of Strasbourg feels very open and spacious, almost minimalist. Some maps can get very crowded at the center core and a little sparse at the edges, but this map feels fairly even throughout. I also don't see a lot of maps that use the circles small station style, and I think this one uses it really effectively. This map of San Jose is really, really fun. First off, check out that logo. I love the negative space making the T in the VTA. So good. I also really like the minimalist legend and the use of the dashed lines too, to show the different trolleys and the connecting rail lines. Living in DC, I love coming across great fantasy maps for my city. This one features the Blue Line Loop, affectionately dubbed the Bloop, that you could take down to the National Arboretum. And a new line, the Cherry Blossom Line, great name for it, which would connect Annandale all the way up to Mount Rainier and then on to Woodlawn, which is great. Plus, there's a reimagined yellow line that splits at Columbia Heights right here and runs through Tacoma. I love this map and I really, really wish we had it. I can't read Chinese, so I need your help to tell me where this is. But I love the use of color in this map. And the Chinese characters keep the station names really, really short, which I think helps with the map's legibility. It's so information dense without feeling crowded. Even the river here is at most 2 strokes wide, and I think it's so well designed overall. Plus, this map is only 120 by 120. It's the second smallest map size, and I think it's a wonderful example of how you can create a really full map, even at the smallest sizes, if you're careful with your design. I can't read Russian, so I'm not sure which city this is. If you can, please let me know. But this map has a really elegant simplicity in its spacing, and it feels so easy to read. The colors here in this map are so satisfying, and I love how the dense, thin line style used on line A here in green and line D here in blue. I love how they look side by side with the solid line styles. The spacing between the stations here is also so beautifully symmetric. Take a look. Oh, look at that, so good. A few things jump out to me about this map. I really like that they used minimalist squares as the legend here on the left, which you can get this effect if you have a rectangle station all by itself. This mapmaker also got the memo about being able to mix and match line styles and widths, and you can see there's a ton of variance here between all of the different line styles. There's the thick line, thin lines, and I really like here in the legend that the line widths here are meant to indicate frequency. This is really, really cool. And this map uses color really well. I think the pastels feel charming and fun, and I like the use of terrain that helps to establish a sense of place without distracting from the map itself. Plus, there's a nice little map credit at the bottom. So thanks to DTA for this map. I think this map uses different station markers really effectively. Mostly, it's rounded rectangles with a few connected rounded rectangular stations here in the corners here. But there's also a few of these DC-style metro transfer stations. This map also feels very full without feeling crowded. I know it's in German, but I'm not really sure where this is a map of, so if you know, please tell me in the comments. Here's a map of San Juan, and the symmetry of the station placement is so well done here, and the design is so straightforward and easy to read. And here we have a minimalist legend that rounds it all out. This map is beautifully dense, but its perfectly even spacing doesn't make it feel crowded. I could see someone remixing it and using the stretch map feature to add an extra station in between each current stop. Plus, with the legend and the use of the new dashed line, what's not to love? This map is elegant in its three-color simplicity. It's a big map with tons of stations, but avoids feeling crowded. I also really enjoy the use of the new dashed line features here. This map of Zurich is beautifully designed. I love the color harmony, the spacing is done extremely well, there's room for expansion, and I really like the use of the new dashed line feature and mix and matching the line styles. I hope you enjoyed this little experiment. As you saw, there were so many maps made this week, it's really impossible to cover them all. Even some of the maps I selected as my favorites, I went through pretty quickly. But every map takes a lot of work, and all of the map makers should be really proud. Every one of these maps is worth taking a look at. Since I'm based in Washington, D.C., I'm very partial to maps in my city, as you might have seen. Maybe you made a really cool map of a city I'm less familiar with, and because I'm not as familiar with your city, I overlooked your cool map or didn't realize how cool it was. And I think it would be really great if you made a video of your favorite maps. And if you do make a video of your favorite maps, please send it to me so I can watch. And this seems like a really good time to remind you that you can browse maps by city. The Maps by City feature works best for maps that either have been named or have a lot of station names that match a real city. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this. Please send me any cool maps that you make, and happy map making!